He has so many CP. So many.
He has a couple CP. And as we have this stream of IDers
IDs.
walking by here, a lot of IDs at the top tables.
Ah.
Oh, those are the DQs? All right.
And so we see Hernandez start off with a Bridget, who's going to pull out a couple of Zarks and Rock Ruffs.
Yeah, for sure. We got the deck list here, so... All right.
Pretty standard list.
Yeah, they look pretty normal. Except Francisco's got a Kukui in his.
Nice.
Multi-switch also, so his list is a little interesting.
Pram's interesting is actually kind of interesting. So he's running a 4-3 Lucario line with 2 Regirocks and 1 Lycanroc GX.
Only 1 Lycanroc.
He's running a 2-1 Lycanroc line. But he's also running 3 Super Scoop-Ups and like 2 Professor Kukuis. This is super weird, actually. Like, looking at it, not the standard. Yeah, 1 Lily, 1 Eva Soda. I'm excited to see what his deck does here, because 5-1-2 is a pretty good record going into the last round.
Yeah,
1 more win, he's in.
There's a lot riding on this for sure.
Yep.
There were a couple of good matches heading into this round. A lot of people on the bubble. Pablo Mesa, we almost put on.
We decided not to torture you guys with more Sylveon matchups. So.
But yeah.
So, I'm just starting to set up. Ultra Ball, Brooklet Hill, lots of deck searching, just figuring out what's prized. And not a lot has happened yet, but I expect his turn to be kind of explosive for him to just do a bunch of stuff. He runs a lot of cards that let him just do a lot of things in the same turn.
Doing all the things. So he's going to Lele. Does he want to get a Bridget here? He's already got 2 basics. That wouldn't surprise me.
But it lets him grab like a Buzzwole and then like a Remoraid and then like another Riolu.
Yeah, he's going to go for Cynthia instead, though. I think he wants an energy attachment. And he says, like, you know what? I've already got almost
everything I need.
Almost a full Bridget here anyway.
He has a strong energy and a basic energy too, though. I don't know. I think it's close.
Wasn't aware of the rest of his hand before I made that comment. Should probably know that. But here goes with the Cynthia. I guess in that case he just said like maybe it's just not worth the Bridget at this point.
I mean he went down after playing the supporter. He went down to only 2 cards in his hand, so like he gets to draw 3 cards essentially off of this. And get rid of the 2 in his hand. If one of I wasn't sure exactly what they were, but if they were things like super scoop ups and stuff that's not worth playing yet, like it's actually like drawing 5-6 cards is really strong.
He might not have had a supporter for next turn either, so
yeah.
So we get an
CNN,
Ultra Ball.
There's an Ultra Ball, a couple of strong energies it looks like.
Yeah, I see a strong.
At least 1. I think there's 2.
Lele, something purple. But he's going to go ahead and pass. Now I'm getting another basic.
Like a full art Lycanroc, maybe? Because it has, like, a weird coloring to it.
It might be a full art Lycanroc.
Or, like, Lucario itself looks kind of purple.
If
you look at the card image.
It's up for debate. We don't know what that card is. We'll figure it out. We'll find out
Pram,
later.
show us your cards.
So, Francisco, it's a Bloodthirsty Eyes bringing up that Riolu with the strong energy attached to it.
Yep. He says, I want it. It needs to go down.
Yeah, and he's definitely hoping to pull off a knockout on it somehow. I mean, that would be great.
He's going to end if he hits like a Float Stone. Yeah, he does run 2 Float Stones. Seeing if there's any other ways for him to get to retreat here. Yeah.
Right, because Lele with the DC is not actually going to knock it out. It's not going to be enough.
70 HP is more than 60.
It's going to be 10 short, quick maths.
These are trading the Bridget. Field Blower on the Brooklet Hill. I don't want you tutoring more Pokemon. And then he just passes. And Pram is very okay with that.
Oh, definitely.
Very hasty. Evolve. Choice Band. Floatstone on my Lele. You just used your field blower, so I'm not worried about it anymore.
And an N, so gonna give Francisco a new hand here.
But what Pram doesn't know is Francisco actually runs 2 field blowers, though. So he saw the first one, was like, oh, now I don't have to worry about it. I just can run everything out. And playing two isn't very common, so it's not something you usually play around.
Yeah, and he has the second one in hand right now. Luckily, tools aren't super critical to Pram's plan, and I think he would play the floatstone either way because he just wants to draw different cards than that floatstone. He doesn't want to see that back in his hand again.
I agree. Interesting energy attachment there. Is there 2 energies on it? Oh, it's a Lucario. That makes sense. I was thinking it was a Lycanroc for a second.
No, it actually
the glare.
Is the Lucario, yeah.
It is the Lucario. You can't attack with 1 energy. I'm like, why would he attach his energy there? Does he need 2 to attack?
It's like a bunch of shiny colors.
That card is so shiny.
It is. It looks good. And another Zoroark for Francisco here. Got 2 of them set up. Can double trade. Who do you think has the advantage in this matchup?
I think that this is probably as close to a 50-50 matchup as you're probably going to get. Outside of, you might have a little bit of an advantage for Pram just because Zoroarks are weak to fighting.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
But I think that if Francisco knows this and knows what Pram's doing, you just don't put the Zoroarks out.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going with draft strategy as we see 2 of them on the board right now.
So I think this game's probably going to go to Pram because he's played out 2. I think he's going to get punished for it.
Yeah, we'll see. That punishment could definitely happen as Pram has already taken 2 prizes. So looking pretty good.
Yeah, Pram's up prizes. He has easy 1-shots on the other Zoroarks. So I think it's going to be really tough for Francisco to pull this one out because he went on the Zoroark play.
On the one hand, you want the Zoroarks, obviously, because they're going to give an advantage over Pram's deck in that the consistency aspect, right? Like, Pram can't trade every turn. He's not going to be able to find every card he needs. Theoretically, the way Francisco is going to be able to. So he's going to sacrifice those Zoroarks in terms of weakness for the consistency that the draw affords him.
See Cynthia coming out of Pram's hand. Right, setting up another Lucario trying in the back. Lots of shuffling. He's going to draw 6 cards. And he's going to see what he wants to do. Nice fresh grip. I see an energy in there. I think there's a Lycanroc. Yep, sure enough. We're going to pull up the baby.
Take an easy, quick prize on that really quick, I suppose.
Yeah. I guess his thinking there is you might as well get 1 prize. And because you have other Lycanroc, or he only runs the 1 Lycanroc, right? As we determined? Yeah, just the 1 Lycanroc. So, I'm less keen on that play. I feel like he could have waited till until he had enough energy to take out a Zoroark in 1 shot.
Yeah, I mean that's probably his one bloodthirsty eyes for the game. But
yeah.
I mean, he does 4 Guzma.
And he also runs 3 super scoop ups, so he can scoop up his Lycanroc and play it again.
That.
He only needs 1, guys. Who needs multiple when you can scoop them up?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen too many lists playing Super Scoop Up. So, Francisco thinking about a Guzma here, I believe.
Yeah. I think this is tough. He's so far behind.
Yeah, he's in a rough spot for sure. He's going to have to do some kind of stalling maneuver, but I'm not sure how well that's going to work out. Goes for the double puzzles. Not sure what's going to help him here out of his discard. An N. Potentially N Pram to 3, although his energy is pretty well stacked up on this board.
Yep.
Okay, so he might try to bring something up here. Blood the eyes, stall, maybe. Play
I don't think
end.
stalling's gonna help him though.
I know,
Like, he has
I
to.
don't think so either. I know. He has to do something. He
I
has
know.
to damage these attackers. And that's what he's thinking too. He's like, well, it's tempting, right? Because that could save him for a turn or two, but eventually
turn or
he's
two's
gonna
not gonna
have
do
to deal
anything.
with it.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to deal with it. So he just doesn't even play the Lycan Rock and goes for the end.
I just want it in my deck. I want it back.
We might be having a showing up here relatively short order still.
Oh boy.
We got a Floatstone.
Going in with the Mew? Okay.
I believe Lucario is Psychic Weak. So I think that's actually huge.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a good draw there. Allowing him to take that knockout with the Mew. Going down to 4 prizes.
Amazing how often that's happened.
And all of a sudden this game looks way more even than we saw because of that Mew.
For sure, but Pram still only has to take 3 prizes. This Mew is kind of an easy 2. He hasn't even GX'd, which is what we're going to see now.
Here.
Dangerous Rogue, and now just 1 prize away from sealing up the game.
So, really here Francisco is kind of looking at the board state, just trying to figure out, okay, what can I do? We're going to bring up this
Yeah, see, now it's the...
kind of, I got to stall it a little bit, play
yeah, but it's not going to work out.
DCE, let's
Get an N, probably.
Lele and try to end you to 1. Yeah. And then hopefully that's good enough that I can do some weird retreat strats to, like, kill your Riolu, cool, you bring up your Lycan Rock, you hit me, I retreat, I hit your Lycan Rock. Yeah. So, lots of decisions to be made.
Stalling by bringing out Riolu is not what you want to be doing here.
Yeah. There you go. Take a knockout. And now it's Francisco's turn to go down to 3 prizes.
Bringing it a little bit closer in, but I think this is just going to be the end.
We're going to retreat. We're going to put a bunch of damage to it.
Pram's got 1 card. Draw passing. A Sorola. Okay, Francisco. He sees the lines.
He has a game plan.
He does. He's not out. He's not giving up. Saying I'm gonna beat the 7 God on stream in the win and in.
Yeah.
Portland Regionals 2018.
Cisco ain't having it. We're gonna attach your energy and we're gonna hit you. Trades a Sycamore for 2 cards instead of 7. Trades an Ultra Ball for 2 cards instead of anything else.
I think he just has so much stuff in his hand that he says, I'm not discarding all of these resources. And he has like everything he could want. He's not going to whiff. He's got 2 trades set
Scoop
up.
up.
Does it happen? Is it a Tails? Oh my goodness.
Wow. Hit it
Wow.
hard.
Pram is in some trouble here.
Yeah.
The end-to-one strategy.
So had he hit,
really
if that scoop up was hit on heads, he could have grabbed the Lele, played the Lele for like a Sycamore, and he would have been way back in this game. Unfortunately, it's looked super awkward.
Wow, this game could just actually be stolen right from under him, right from under his nose. Sees to take 1 prize. Oh wow, that's just crazy. Francisco came back and ended up winning that game.
Yeah, I mean, ends to 1 happen, and
Definitely.
it's brutal when that happens, where you put your opponent in top deck mode, and if your opponent doesn't top deck what you need, the game's just over and there's nothing you
Yeah.
can do about it, and that's exactly what we saw.
Right, and that's what I said earlier about the difference between the two decks being that Zoroark is going to allow Francisco to have everything he wants every turn, whereas Pram does not have that, as we saw. Doesn't have that consistency. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of Zoroark today, to be honest, but the card is still just off the wall good.
Yes, very, very good. The trade ability is probably the best ability in the format. It's so good.
Pretty good.
I love
Definitely
trading
why
cards.
it's in the deck, for
Yeah.
sure.
It's in there solely for that reason. Is I'm gonna have a handful of cards
Wow,
for the entire game.
If you're Pram, you gotta feel pretty bad about that. That win was kind of like ripped from him.
Yeah, he had it in his
had the
hands,
game.
and it was gone.
Yeah, now it's over. All right, so now Pram is going to be going first, and he does not want a repeat of that to happen. So, I'm not sure what he could have done to avoid that there.
So he had a couple of things that, like, had he not killed the Riolu earlier, he would have been at 2 prizes instead. That end wouldn't have hit as hard. Would have let him get an extra card deeper, which could have mattered.
And when he
Had
boosted up
he-
the Zoroark on the bench?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he killed the basic and put his prices on an off sequence, like he could have pulled up a Zoroark that had no energies or anything attached to it and hit it for a lot and just go for the 2-shot plan on that.
Yeah, he would have gotten
Instead.
one extra card off the end, been a little bit more resilient. I'm not too sure if he could have.
Francisco wouldn't have had as many cards in his hand doing that because through all the trading that was done. So he might not have hit the end. Actually, what might not have got far enough in.
Well, he looks like he end turn 1 attached to Riolu pass, and Francisco has turn 1 Bridget.
Pretty good. Francisco's like, I ain't having it.
Yeah, if Octillery was down last game,
Yeah, it would have been a
it would've
completely different
been
story.
So different, but he was never able to actually get that Octillery up and running. Didn't even see a Remoraid the whole time. But if this little guy survives, then he can give him some real
That
draw
is
power late in the game.
large board state on turn 1 for Francisco.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good to me.
I'm sure he has no complaints.
2 Rockruff.
He's
and
going to Ultra Ball.
3
I would be very
Zorua.
surprised if this isn't Octillery. Let's start drawing cards now. Let me get my draw engine going.
And here it is. Yeah, he does not want a repeat of that experience
Nope.
at all. He's
Pram ain't
saying
having it.
Not gonna happen to me again.
Oh, he has a float stone for it and everything. He's going to draw 4 cards off this Abyssal hand.
Pretty good. Can't see exactly what he's got
I
there.
think there's a float stone. I think there's a
Definitely.
super scoop up. That's the only like old border card. He should show that
yeah,
he was running the old border last
He
time.
has the e-reader. That's one of my favorite sets, just because
E-readers.
I think it just stands out from the other cards. It's just fun. And he plays an N. He's probably looking for some more stuff to set up his board with here. He doesn't want to give Francisco the board state advantage because right now it's looking like Francisco has the better setup. But we'll see what Pram gets off of this end.
Yeah. Pram gets to see a lot of cards this turn. So it's just a matter of if those are the right cards.
I see a Riolu, so we got another one.
There's an Evo Soda there. So that
No Rockruff though?
no rock rough. It's rough.
It's pretty rough.
The Riolu attacks with a strong energy to knock out Azora. For a single prize, no need to evolve.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Riolu's attack. Let's see what that is. Jab?
Yeah, so he jabbed it, but he
Jab?
also had a strong
Strong
energy, so
jab
it's
for
30
30.
doubled. So it was 60 for exact on the
60
Zoro.
damage jab. I like it.
So good. Riolu beats plan. And get behind it.
You got jabbed.
And Francisco's just setting up. He now has 2 Zoroarks. He's
Ready?
gonna start trading a whole lot here.
But this Zoroark in the active is kind of liability for Francisco, because if he does take the knockout with the Zoroark, that means Pram can come up and hit it for weakness.
Yep.
With a benched. With anything, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably the Lycanroc. Or not Lycanroc. It's been such a long day. I'm confusing my Pokemon names. The other guy, Lucario.
There you go.
Lucario, they both start with L.
Yeah, and they're both in the same
fighting.
deck. Like,
they're both
yeah.
in the same deck. They're both
Brutal.
in stage 1.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Make that mistake. Lycancario. Lucanroc.
Lucanroc.
Alright. We're having fun.
Yeah. All right, Twitch, we need an image of Lucario and Lycanroc merged together, please.
And also with Pram's face.
And Pram's face needs to, like, Pram needs to be writing it.
Ready, go. Okay.
We're counting on you.
So he's got that guy in the active. Lucario. He's going to now Cynthia to get a brand new hand of 6 cards.
No.
This has been a fun stream so far.
Yeah, it has been. Excited to continue tomorrow with the
Tomorrow's going to be
top
great.
32,
We're gonna have
all the way to the finals.
some high quality matches.
Send links will be timed out.
Very true. Don't send any links.
You
Don't
can
time
PM
out.
them to me, guys. Oh man, my inbox is gonna be flooded. This
Yeah,
is
you
a
shouldn't
mistake.
say that. You shouldn't invite Twitch chat to PM you. But anyways, so did Pram take a prize there? Yeah, he did. He's actually now down to 3, so he took 2. And Francisco's going to promote Rockruff. Oh man, it's pretty close, but it looks good for Pram this game right now. He's got that Abyssal Hand set up.
Yep.
He's
This
got
bill
that
hand is gonna really carry.
Lucario swinging in the active here. And what's Francisco gonna do?
Play more Zoroarks
More Zoroark.
and trade more.
Trade more.
I don't want.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
Mallow,
okay.
and then I'm gonna trade them and get exactly the 2 cards out of my deck I want.
He's gonna need to shuffle the rest of the deck before he mallows. Yeah, there we go.
It's getting there.
Good. Good gameplay. Like to see that nice and clean. Table Judge is really
Really helping.
helping it out, hold it together here. And get rid of that enhance
I
hammer.
don't need an enhance hammer.
Don't need that. Well, I mean, it could be useful to get rid of a strong, but it's not that important.
Not in this matchup. The numbers don't really matter because your stuff's just gonna die anyway.
For sure. And get rid of a strong too. So you want to keep that Mew DC.
That's so good.
Gonna hit that Lucario for weakness yet again. So Francisco knows what he's doing here. He knows how to approach this matchup. It's probably one of the ones he spent a lot of time testing as well.
That one Mew EX is gonna crucial. It seems like.
Definitely.
Both games have been like the big key pivotal point of the matches
Right,
when
'cause
he
this-
got the Mew.
This is a swing for sure. It's got to make Pram a little bit worried. It's a big deal. Pram has now no backup attacker. So he's either going to need to... that's a Rockruff there, so he's going to need to find a Lycanroc, I suppose.
Yeah. Which, he has the Brooklet Hill, so he just gets to immediately grab
He
it.
can get Buzzwole too, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be a good idea though, also weak to Psychic. Right?
He's thinking, he grabs a Riolu actually, saying, I'm gonna eventually evolve these anyway. I have other ways to get my Lycanroc out. My Lycanroc can't attack this turn anyway.
And he hasn't actually chosen, I think he had that Riolu from his
Yeah.
hand, so he's...
That Riolu at the bottom is the one that he's thinking about.
Yeah, he might grab another one. Not sure what else is in there. It looks like
There's a Regirock,
Regirock for sure.
a couple of full arts that's hard to see at this angle.
Probably another Lucario. I think that's what one of them is, which he obviously can't play right now since he just mentioned that Riolu. So not sure if there is a Lycanroc in there. As he only does play the one, so it could be prize. Yeah, he goes for the other Riolu.
thinking just trying to find his line. He had the Lycanroc in hand. Gonna try to stall him and put the Lele active and start attaching energy to this Lycanroc.
Yeah, he's definitely on the back foot now after the Mew took that knockout.
Plus 9 minutes for deck check on 9.
So, but he did have the Lycanroc, so that's good. Kukui? Place 2.
Yep. He's playing it just as a, I just need to draw some cards, it's what I have.
It's the only thing he's got. But he wants to protect that Octillery. He does not want anything happening to that. That's kind of his main way to stay in the late game and compete with these trades, because otherwise it's just going to get blown out of the water.
Francisco is getting an extra 2 cards every single turn, so Pram has to do at least that.
An extra at least 2. Well, trade 1,
Just
get 2. Trade
down
1,
1,
get 2.
up 2,
Yeah.
down 1, up 2 is
Yeah. Net gain of 2.
net gain of 2.
But, I mean, I guess you're really gaining 4, though, because you don't want the card you're discarding. So that's like a card you already had that you don't want. So you're getting 4 fresh cards.
Yes.
And an Ultra Ball from Francisco.
Would be surprised it's not a Lycanroc.
I think that's pretty much the only
The
thing
only
left
thing
in the
left
deck
in the
right
deck.
now. I think that's what he's got to get. And pulling up the Octillery. Because he's going to go with the same strategy. I think that's just what he wants to do to finish out the game here.
Yep.
Probably try to take care of this and cram again. I mean, it worked last game, so no harm, no foul in trying again. And if he can pair this with an N, oh, he's got the puzzles.
Yep.
Let's see it happen.
I believe he has a Floatstone in there. He has a Mallow, so even if he doesn't, he can Mallow for the Floatstone.
And DCE. Field board.
Oh, that Octillery's gonna get stuck.
It's definitely getting stuck. It's not getting knocked out this turn. It's just gonna stick it there for a minute. And there's the end.
Isn't as backbreaking for Pram now that he has the Octillery out already. It's been a very back and forth game.
Well, I think he is actually knocking out the...
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the Floatstone, so
Yeah,
he actually
has to
didn't
hit-
have
he has
it
to
in the
hit the
discard.
Floatstone, yeah.
He has to hit it, so just in case he doesn't hit the Floatstone, he wanted to get rid of the Octillery. And I don't think he didn't get it here.
He's gonna trade a couple of times.
Try to find it. That's not it. Second trade. And that's not it either. Field Blower, Ultra Ball. So it looks like Octillery's sticking around.
Yep.
Wow, that was almost very devastating, though, for Pram. Brooklet
Top deck
Hill.
Brooklet Hill. He has the Guzma.
And like a super scoop up, I guess.
So
And an energy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 on the bench. You can Guzma up the Zoroark with energy on it,
It's your boy.
and then attach the energy on the Lycanroc and just one-shot it. And take 2 prizes.
Yeah,
There's also a debate for taking out the
Yep.
Lycanroc
Yeah,
or the
he
Mew.
wants the dangerous from this, I think.
And draw 4 cards.
Yeah, because the Zoroarks are kind of just waiting there. Yeah. Waiting for him to take a knockout later, but he might as well knock out this Lycanroc while he can.
And Brooklet Hill. He's gonna grab Lucario, more likely than not. Maybe a Regirock if he needs it. I'm not doing the math. But
Yeah, he's going for the Regirock.
yeah.
He
wanna
doesn't,
make
have a
sure-
strong attach or anything, so.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. It's 250, isn't it? Is it just saying it's 50 times how many your opponent has? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an easy knockout.
Yeah, so I guess it's not relevant. Okay. So 1 prize again for Pram, so it's gonna be tough. I don't think there's no way he can, that Francisco can get rid of this Octillery and Pram in the same turn, so. This is doing some trades.
So one of the things that's interesting is by putting the Regirock down, a Riolu evolve into Lucario plus the 20 damage from the Regirock is exactly enough to kill, or is an easy kill on the Mew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Which is-
120.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a good point. So that could be something that comes into play here. Because Mew is definitely the easiest prize on Francisco's bench at the moment. Although, weakness, so I suppose it doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that can die.
Yeah. But the Mew is probably what Francisco would be hoping to attack with. Because he doesn't want to bring up the Zord.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to see a Bloodthirsty Eyes there, or is that just an evolve? No ability, it looks like.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he activated the ability there
could bring up the
and bring
Octillery
up
again.
the Octillery or the either probably the Octillery just and just
Yeah.
get the easy knockout.
Probably doesn't have an end to go with it, though, so I
Yeah.
think that's why he's not doing that. Kukui, Acerola, and DCE. Got a lot of energy in this hand.
Lots of energy.
Yeah, see, here comes the Mew.
GX
And
attack you back.
The Lucario, it's got it.
Ultra Ball, do the
That
things.
Regirock. Okay, so
And Regirock
1-1.
does it.
We're going to a game 3.
Pram says, I have everything. Here, look.
That was close.
Yeah, that was very back and forth the entire game. Very, very good one. And so as they're shuffling up for game 3, we can... Yeah, like I said, this matchup feels very 50-50 with like maybe a 5% advantage for Pram just because of the weakness shenanigans, but I feel like it's very, very close.
Yeah, I think that first game was a bit of an anomaly with the dead draw there. But any game where he gets his draw consistent.
Yeah, so easy knockouts.
And definitely a solid play by Pram in that one to get the advantage there. So maybe we'll see again this game something similar.
Yeah. But yeah, because of the evolve, the Regirock wasn't important. 120. 120 does enough. But you never
Trying to
know,
give
there
too
might...
much credit. Guess he just wanted it to thin his deck.
Yeah.
But either way, we've got a tie game now at the end of the day here.
Yeah.
Been
20
here
minutes left.
for a
20
solid
minutes
amount of time.
in the end of the day. There will be no more.
Been going at it here since, early in the morning.
Yeah.
Josh has been here since 6
I've been
a.m.
6 a.m. It's now after 8:30. It's been a long day.
Definitely a long day. But yeah, so we're happy to be here, bringing you this coverage of
Yeah.
Portland
So we see
Regionals.
Hernandez, Bridget set up his board a little bit and just pass. Michael
Pretty
says, my hand's kind of okay. I'll put an energy and a choice band down, and then I'm done with the rest of it. Let's end.
Yeah, getting rid of that. And we see him with the Buzz Bowl start, so
Yep.
this is one of Buzz Bowl.
This is like probably the best start for him though
Yeah.
in this matchup because the Zoroark's like it's huge.
It is definitely huge. He's going to want to pick those off as early as he can,
Brooklet
and that's going to give
Hill,
him a
grabbing
really
the
good head
Remoraid?
start.
Makes sense. Pram says, I need an Octillery.
Yeah, Octillery
Don't take it away from me. Don't end me to 1, please.
Octillery's primary importance here. He does run 2-2 of Remoraid Octillery, so
Very unlikely to prize the line.
yeah, he's probably going to have access to at least one of those throughout the game.
And we see the Buzzwole.
Easy prize.
Just easy prize. Oh, you left something that's weak to fighting there? That's mine now.
I will take it. Buzzwole is such an inherently strong card, and then with all the damage modifiers that fighting Pokemon have access to, definitely
Huge.
becomes really scary. Very powerful card.
It's definitely one of my favorite cards in the format. I love sniping damage on benches.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I think my favorite deck of all time was a Selgor Flygon back when XY first came out.
One of those. It's a very frustrating deck for sure.
Sinister Hand Dusknoir to just move the damage around, just one-shot whatever you wanted.
This reminds me more of Big Basics with Landorus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's kind of just like a new Landorus. Without the horrible weakness that Landorus had at the time, which was water
Yeah,
to Keldeo.
Keldeo and Blastoise.
And
Yeah.
Toad.
And Toad, yeah.
But Buzzwole's weakness isn't too crippling here. Got a field blower.
Still is relevant occasionally, but
Definitely.
it's not as relevant as literally every deck in the format.
Right.
Because even the Big Basics deck was running Keldeo and would sometimes attack with it.
Yep. Okay, so we got the trade train going. Start making those trades. It's gonna bring up Lele.
We're gonna hit you for
60. Wait, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, more than 60 is choice band.
there's choice band, so the extra
Choice
30.
band, no weakness, however.
Not this time.
Nope. That would be too good.
Yeah, Dunfin with Hidden Run, also a great deck. I'm gonna hide forever. Say hello to my safeguard.
One of the most tilting decks ever.
Abyssal Hand. I'll raise your trades with some Abyssal Hands.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Guzma
Guzma,
and the Floatstone.
We want.
Which one? Damaged or not damaged?
So he wants the not damaged.
Well, the other one does have an energy on it, I think. It's hard to see it there, but...
We're gonna retreat.
30-30? 50-30. 50 knockout.
Which he says you didn't have Lycanroc last game, so if I put this one to 50, I can snipe it off the bench again.
Exactly.
So, very huge. Being able to get those multiple prize turns. And if Francisco can never get a Lycanroc on the field, I don't know how he wins, because
Yeah.
the Zoroarks can't really attack.
No, Zoroarks are definitely in danger every time they enter the active, so Lycanroc is the one he wants to see.
Kenny, what are we doing?
So, you see him just kind of deciding what he wants to trade away, what's he going to do. Because you have these trades and just so many cards in your hand, you have so many options to play with. It does look like he has a couple of Lycanrocs in his hand now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's really going for here. How is he going to get the knockout? I think Lele, yeah, that's got to be the way. It's a good thing he got the energy there.
Yeah.
He would have been in some deep trouble if he hadn't gotten energy off that Cynthia. So prizes are evened up now, 4-4.
Yep. We see Pram drawing 2 cards off that Abyssal Hand, saying, I'm not going to let you outcard advantage me.
It's the last round, it's not like...
And Cynthia, once again.
Yep. Very prominent cards this weekend. Very, very good.
Yeah, I return Cynthia. Bridget or Cynthia? Definitely very strong.
Every single game, pretty much.
Matches are all finishing up, and everyone is kind of making their way out of the
Making their way
convention
downtown,
center.
walking fast.
Faces pass.
No.
Anyway. No, but we're coming to a close here, so which one of these players is going to make it to day 2?
Not a mid-round one.
I can't stand
He says, I'm going to 240 your Zoroark, and it's going to feel good.
Oh my goodness. There it goes.
The next one that finishes in here
And Pram is now 2 up on prizes.
It's going to be rough.
Has
for
a nice
Francisco.
setup on the back. Neither player has used their GX yet.
Yeah, so that dangerous rogue could definitely come
He
into play
says,
here.
I want your artillery. And then I'm going to end you to 2.
Francisco's side of the field definitely getting a little messy here. That's the multi-switch.
Yeah. I believe that's just a 1-of, correct?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
One multi-switch. Mallow, as a supporter, allows you to have kind of those one-of cards like that because you can always play Mallow, trade into them. Such
Play
a
your
good
funky
play.
cards, yep. And then we're going to end him down to 2. Hernandez not getting very many more, only going to 4. But he does have trades, and I have a feeling this artillery is going bye-bye very quickly.
Yeah, this is a last-ditch attempt here, kind of to save the game by Francisco. Just kind of wants to repeat what happened in game 1 and have Pram draw dead here for a couple turns.
Yep, hopefully that'll be enough.
Enough to allow him to come back. Trade away a Zoroark. Just kind of wants to get his trades in every turn within the deck.
Yep, absolutely.
And there it goes. I'm not sure what Pram drew. Oh, an energy. Super Scoop Up. But. And a Choice Band.
So you hit for 60
Is
here?
that it? That's not it.
No, it's not it.
Not enough.
He had the energy. 'Cause he hasn't
Oh my
GX
goodness.
attacked. Was that
Yeah, he
was that
hasn't.
enough? Doing the math. 30 times the damage counter. So no, because he didn't have any damage counters on it. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Not quite enough.
Not quite, but he at this point, Pram is saying, if you attack me and I have an energy in my hand, this game is over.
This is getting very close. Is Pram going to brick again and lose a second game to end in this series?
Ooh, see Ace Rolla come up.
The Super Scoop Up is going to be very clutch.
Yeah, we see the Lele currently dealing 180 to the 210 Lucario. It doesn't hit for weakness. I lied.
No, yeah.
Just 90.
Yeah, it's not that impressive.
He just passes. I don't want to put damage on you because you'll knock
Yep.
me out back.
Yep. Here comes the Super Scoop Up. Is it heads?
I know there's people who are like, they get physically upset.
The Dangerous Rogue?
Scoop up pants and like,
GG.
And that'll do it.
I know, I would be mad too.
And Francisco's like, what
15,
just
16, 17,
happened?
18 on the dot.
Pram's
Francisco's
He's like,
so
"No,
sad.
That can't be it.
Oh,
That
man.
can't be the end. Wow.